All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we just finished up our malaria TensorFlow callbacks module. Let's have a look at what we went over today. And yesterday, if you recall, we set everything up to actually run our callbacks so we can get the early stopping. We'll get examples of early stopping. So let's do some light reading, and then we'll see exactly how that experiment went. Remember, we had to run it for 10 epochs. So let's start with some reading here. So the this is the code where we're going to use to actually implement it, the tf.caress.callbacks.early stopping. The method, this is the monitor parameter. This is the mandata parameter, the patient's parameter, the verbose parameter, and so on and so forth, as you can see. Now we'll create a variable called es underscore callback and set it equal to our equation, as I showed you before. Let me go back and show you that really quickly. See exactly how we implemented it. You can see here es underscore callback equals early stopping. So this is the variable we created. Instead of using the tf.caress, that's the parameter or the variable that we actually created to actually run the program. Now before we run, we will look at the significance of each and every argument inside of the early stopping, which we did already. I did that yesterday for you. We did some reading on that. So yeah, next let me go back up and make sure I didn't skip anything with the reading. Okay, and with all that explained, now we can move forward with our code. We'll set the patients to equal 3, the verbose to equal 1, and everything else can stay the same. Next, we just need to include it in our history.fit, which I showed you. You can see here on line 397. Let's go to 397 really quickly so I can show you that. So you can see here, this is where we entered it into our history.fit or history, the net custom model.fit as one of the parameters for callbacks. So you can see here callbacks. We have the lost callback, the CSV underscore callback, and then here we have the ES callback. So that's what we actually implemented that. Let's go back down so we can finish reading. Okay, and we'll add it. See, we did that part already. Now we can run a training. After training for 8 epochs, we clearly see how the early stop and callback stops the training process. As we saw on the instructor screen, I'm going to tell you why I said that in a second. I'm going to show you my actual screen in a second, how we run the code. Now let's examine why the training process has stopped. If we take a look at the validation loss, we find that there was a drop and increase. Because we set the patients to 2, I was supposed to set it 2, but I left it to 3. It's not really a big deal, but I'll explain to you the difference now, what the patients actually does. So it's because we set the patients to 2, we have to get 2 consecutive loss increases before the training stops. For example, if we go from 0.255 to 0.243 to 0.266, the training will continue because the loss decreased once and it increased once. So it has to be consecutive. You see here how it went down first and then it went up. The training will continue because the losses didn't go up consecutively. But if the training loss went from 255 to 266 to 279, then the training will be stopped early because we have consecutive loss increases. And that's what the patient does. It just assesses how many times consecutively the loss has to increase before the training stops. So if we set it to 3, like I did, instead of the 2, it would have to go up consecutively 3 times instead of the 2. So let me show you what we got when I ran the code here. You can see we went through the epic 10 times. Of course, I don't know why we can't show all of the code anymore like we used to in the past. It doesn't pick up the whole screen, but this is where we can start from. Here, batch number 441 of 689. You can see it's giving us all of the attributes: true positive, false positive, true negative, false negatives, the loss, so on and so forth. And then I noticed that we didn't have any early stopping, so I just kept going down and looking and see what was actually, everything was coded correctly and everything came through correctly. So I just kept going and looking for it. So everything's running and running and running. And then I get to the end of it and we see here. So we got the Epic for 10 model has a loss of and all of that stuff. And I see the warning here, TensorFlow early stopping conditional metric val loss, which is not available. Available metrics are loss, true positive, true negative, false negative, binary accuracy, precision, recall, area under call, or area under curve, and val loss. So I'm saying, how come it's here, but it's telling me that it's based on the wrong metrics? But if you actually look at what I have here, you can see here val loss compared to this val loss, I have it uppercase instead of lowercase. So we did all of those training examples really, and we didn't capture any early stopping because we had it labeled wrong. So let me show you what it looks like in the code here. I didn't fix it because I'm going to do it again overnight. Even though everything's running fine, I know everything's running smooth, we can still just go forward. I just want to do it anyway to make sure we capture this. So you can see here I have the value of loss as a capital V. instead of a lowercase v. So that's why we didn't actually capture any of the value lost, because it was actually configured to the wrong word. So yeah, everything did go smoothly. We just couldn't pick up the early stopping callback method because of that little mishap. But everything did go smoothly. We did pick up all of the training methods. I can actually show you that in the logs that we captured, because you remember I still have it set to true here instead of the false. So remember, if it was set to the false, it erased everything that was previously there, and it's continuously print the new one. So it'll be just one file entered after everything is ran, because it'll continuously erase the old one and print the new one. But with the true, it's just going to append everything. So let me go ahead and show you this, the CSV file. Yesterday we only had two of them, two entries. So today we should have a lot more, which we did. So these are the two from yesterday, and then these are the 10 from today that we ran. So as you can see, it starts from 0 to 9, as we do in coding, starts from 0. So yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where's 8 at? Why is 8 missing? So I don't know why 8 is missing. Maybe he did stop that one early. I just didn't see it get stopped. So maybe it did get stopped early. Maybe we did get three consecutive. It just didn't actually get picked up because it didn't get printed out because it wasn't worded correctly. But maybe it did get stopped early because of we did get three consecutive increases. So yeah, 0 to 9. So we did train 10 times, as you can see listed here, and 8 is missing because it did get stopped early. But again, I'm gonna run it again just to make sure we pick everything up and we can actually see it visually getting stopped. I corrected the lowercase v from the capital V. So yeah, I'm gonna do it again tonight and actually see what we get tomorrow. But that was actually the end of the module for the TensorFlow callbacks, and we do have the next one here already geared up and ready to go, and that's going to be the learning rate scheduling. So yeah, I'm going to dive into that tomorrow, so I don't have to do anything else inside the TensorFlow callbacks except run it with the actual wording that we have now fixed, and we're going to go from there. But of course, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way. But for now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.